If you want to summarize Excel data using a pivot table, you need to make sure that data is formatted properly. In this movie, I will show you what you need to do. I will use the Format Data sample workbook, which you can find in the Chapter 1 folder of your exercise files archive. The best way to format your data for use in a pivot table is as a list. A list is a series of columns, in this case, department, quarter, and sales, and each row represents a particular fact. So, for example, we know that for the balance department, quarter number 1, sales were $51,992, and so on, for quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and so on, and then for the dance, play, sport, and work departments. And if I scroll down using my mouse wheel, you can see the rest of the data. Some important things to note about this data list. The first is that there are no gaps. As I scroll down through the list again, you can see that there are no blank rows. If for some reason I were to have a blank row, so I'll just insert one here, and I were to click cell B4 and create a pivot table, then the pivot table data would stop with what is currently the data in row 5. So the first thing you should realize is that you must have no gaps in your data list. I'll just press Ctrl-Z to undo the insertion. The second thing you should watch out for is that there's no extraneous data around the list you want to summarize as a pivot table. So for example, scrolling down again, you can see that I have no excess data in column D of the worksheet, and there's also nothing below it that I don't want to be included. So that means that if I click any cell within this data list, as I've done here with cell A6, creating the pivot table means that it would include all that data and only that data. So again, the basic idea is you want to have no gaps, no blank rows in the list, and you also want to have no data around the data that you want to summarize using your pivot table. The best way to format your data is as an Excel table. To do that, you click any cell in the data list, and then on the Home tab, click Format as Table, and then pick a table style. And I'll just click the first one here. Verify that all your data appears A1 to C21, which I know is correct. My table has headers, and click OK. When you define a data list as an Excel table, you can add rows to the table and have that data appear automatically in the pivot table the next time it refreshes. So if I were to go down, scrolling again with my mouse wheel, and click cell C21 and press the Tab key, Excel adds a new row to my Excel table. So if I were to add another row of data, let's say for example shoes, press Tab, quarter would be quarter 1, and we'll give it $20,000 of revenue and press Enter. Then that data would appear again in the pivot table the next time it refreshes. So to sum up, you should have your data as a data list with column headers and no blank rows. But the best way to format your data is as an Excel table.